Today we're looking at a hidden component of live electronic music, and we're going to get into it as soon as I shout out today's patron. And that patron shout out goes to Carl Izord. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. Well, everybody, we are back in the Beat Barn. Big surprise, I am working on Freebeat Live 2026, my upcoming free live stream concert. Roll the ad.
Did you know that you can have your music featured in my upcoming free live stream concert, Freebeat Live 2026? It's super easy. Either watch the video linked in the description below, or simply read the instructions listed there as well. Everyone who submits a qualifying entry will be featured, so be sure to check out Freebeat Live 2026, coming Friday, August 21st at 7 p.m. Pacific, and Saturday, August 22nd at 11 a.m. Pacific for live music, giveaways, and more. Hope to see you there.
There is so much that goes into throwing a live concert, whether it be in an arena or a stadium or in a barn, live streamed over the internet. Seriously, things that you wouldn't even consider, like this yellow plug here being a replacement for one of these black Y splitters that got lost when my wife and I moved from our apartment into this house. You know, things like this also need to be replaced. Like there's a little $6 adapter that I had to buy that just went missing when we moved, just so it'll match the other four poles, because you don't want it to be all mismatched, especially when the alternative is bright yellow. Things like realizing the drum riser is a bit too small because it's a twin bed frame that you converted. So then you frantically scramble and try to find old wood that was left around the property and some pallets and start working on what you can put together. I think we're gonna be able to put something together out of all this, but we'll see. That'll be a different video because I also want to possibly run the wires through it for the live rig, of course, and possibly the drum set as well, and maybe even get some lighting into it, but that's very ambitious and the concert's less than a month away. And obviously those things are unique to a larger scale show like this, but today's topic actually has to do with something that's fairly common in most electronic music shows, even if it's something that I've never used before in Freebeat Live. I am talking about click tracks and cue tracks. As I download this click track that I made in Ableton Live for my song Water Heater here, I'll explain what that is. Basically, a cue track or click track is a track that plays exclusively in the in-ear monitors of the performer. And it's really at its heart just a metronome that helps the performer stay on beat with what they're doing. That's essentially what a click track is. It's just the metronome that plays in your ears. If there's any time signature changes in the song, it'll also go along with them. Oftentimes it's synced up to whatever's playing backing tracks, if there's anything like that. It's just a metronome that only the performers can hear. But then you can take that a step further and have a cue track. A cue track is the same exact thing. It's got the metronome going, but it will also have custom recorded talking in the middle of the track, where it'll be like, okay, verse 2, 3, 4, verse 2, 3, 4, verse 2, 3, 4, chorus coming up now, chorus 2, 3, 4, things like that. Little reminders of where you are. You know, things like changing patches or reminding you what pads you need to hit or what key the song is in. All those little cues, a drum fill coming up if you're a drummer, they can all be recorded into a cue track, and that is also pumped through the in-ear monitors of the performers. Like I said, I have never used a cue track or a click track really for Freebeat Live. So I actually went into Ableton today and made a custom click track for my song Water Heater. I didn't record any cues into it because I'm not sure if I really need them. We'll find out. But for now, it's just really the click. So it counts me off in 4/4, even though the song is in 7/8. It's the opening song of the set. So I'm gonna want like a really solid foundation I can play along with. So it's 1 bar of 4/4, that's my count in, and then it immediately goes into 7/8. I would wager that almost every performer, whether it's electronic music or not, that you've ever seen has used some sort of click track or cue track in their in-ears. And for this Freebeat Live show, I'm going to be no different. Let me show you how I'm going to accomplish it. Now for both of my sets, the SP404 Mark II is my main audio player. In the first set, this is where pretty much all the sound is coming from. I've got all my drums down here. I've got different elements of the track up here. Some are like extended kind of backing samples. Some are like one-shots of passages. But the whole song is here, and I play through it with my fingers, and just kind of go as the song goes on. Now, the bummer about the SP404 Mark II is there's no way to permanently send a sample exclusively to the headphone jack. You can briefly monitor it exclusively in the headphones, but you can't permanently have it going to the headphones. That's where my SPD-SX comes in. You see, the SPD-SX does let you permanently route samples exclusively to the headphone jack. In fact, it actually has another pair of sub-outs too, so it's got 6 outs total if you include the stereo headphone out. Also, it doesn't really matter, but I'm actually not running any audio out of this, I believe, for the first set anyway. But like I said, it doesn't matter because you can route samples to the headphone jack exclusively, or even the sub out. So the plan is to put the custom click track into the SPD-SX. Right here, oh, wrong way. Right here, I have a USB extender coming out of the laptop, and this goes to USB Type B. Hopefully you can see that on camera. We are going to walk this cable all the way over here, not trip on anything. And yes, I do have enough slack. We're gonna plug it, there we go, right into the back of the SPD-SX. We are going to pause for a brief moment while I install the SPD-SX Wave Manager on this laptop, which turns out I don't have. I thought I did, but I didn't. Now, if I recall, on the SPD-SX, I have to go to Setup and Option, I think, USB Mode. Wave Manager, there we go. Okay, now I can plug this in. Now if I open the Wave Manager, yes, it shows the SPD-SX. I hit OK, it's reading the storage, and here's our little graphical interface, and it'll show the different kits. And I want kit number 51. I can also name the kit from here very easily, so I'm going to name it WH. There we go, for water heater. Now I actually have to go in and add the sample. So we click right here, got the sample pulled up there, the water heater.wave, and we click import. And now it's going to import the wave file. And I'm gonna have to do this for every single track. However, I'll probably wait to do a few of the others because I'm sure eventually I will want actual cue tracks for some of these instead of just clicks. But since this is the opening song, I'd like to think that I'll have enough of a handle on it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drag this onto the main pad right there on kit number 51. And I'm gonna hit exit. And now it says disconnect. Boom, there we go. And as we can see there, kit number 51 is now titled WH. And if I hit right here and we go pad, we can see that water heater, hopefully you can read that, is on the screen there, and we can see it's still playing, so that means the click track must be going. Now that's only part one to this solution, and that's because we actually need to go into our kit menu here, and we need to go to output, and then we need to make sure that pad 7 is selected, yep, and instead of sending that to the master out, we want to send that to the sub out. Now, if we look down here, it should be routed to the sub out, and it's a mono sample, so it should be just coming right out of that single jack right there. Now when it comes time for the actual show setup, I'm gonna take a 1/4" cable out of the back of the SPD-SX and route it all the way over here into one of its own inputs on the board, and then that input is just going to get sent to my own personal output, which is going to have my wireless in-ear monitor transmitter on it, and then I will be wearing the receiver up on stage, meaning that only I can hear the click. Now, if you've been paying attention, you might be thinking, well, hang on, you're not gonna sync your click to the samples that you have set up for the song? And no, I'm not, because I always like to live a little dangerously. I just want the reference in my head. I'm gonna get 4 counts, and then it's up to me to start the song at the right time and keep playing and stay on time with that click track. So if I get off, I'm gonna know it, and the audience will probably know it too, but high risk, high reward, I like those kind of performances. For the purposes of today's video, what I'm actually going to do is just run a 1/4" cable out of the SPD-SX into the input of the 404 Mark II, and then just give you a little brief preview of what that audio sounds like, and we'll see how it works. So you will be able to hear the click track for this video. However, when it comes time for the real concert, that click track or cue track will just be routed to my ears. Okay, here we go. Sub out, mono. And I apologize to the S1, but I'm unplugging it just for the video here so we can run this into the line in just so you all can hear it, hopefully without issue. Okay, you're about to watch me give this a shot. I'm going to hit this pad right here to start the click track. I'm gonna get 4 counts. You're gonna hear them. And then we're going to start the song proper on the 404 Mark II. So wish me luck, and here we go. Okay, well, all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, I'll need to adjust some levels and things like that, but really, I won't have to worry because this is going to be going straight into the board over there. So I'm just going to be able to set the level properly there. And there's not really going to be anything going into the 404 Mark II other than maybe the S1, because the input can run kind of weird on the 404 Mark II. It thinks things are way hotter than they actually are, at least in my experience. But for that little demo, you know, I'm okay with it. Also, that was the first time finger drumming along to Water Heater where I kind of felt like, okay, yeah, I'm starting to figure out what I want to do and where. So while the actual performance will be far higher quality than that, I'm pleased with that one. I like that take. I like where it's going. I'm starting to hear things in my head where it's like, yes, that is exactly where that fill goes. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to fine-tuning that song as well as the rest of both sets. So I do hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you've ever used a cue track in your ears before while performing. If you did like the video, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you know where the thumbs down is. Either way though, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. You're not gonna wanna miss Freebeat Live 2026. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.